Hey, I'm Kevin. Welcome to the Building Blocks of Rock for Guitar. I'll be looking at a different chord, riff, or lick shape from my free web app, The Building Blocks of Rock, which you can find at guitarviz.com. In each video, I'll take a shape and talk about what it is and how to play it, where it comes from and how it fits in, how to move it around the neck, famous examples, and most of all, how to add it to your own playing so it becomes a part of your vocabulary on guitar. At the end of the video, I'll show each example slowed down and up close. Each video has chapters, so you can skip around if you want. And finally, if you like what you see, please remember to like or subscribe. This is a real common and basic lick in rock, used by everyone going all the way back to Chuck Berry and before, and all the way up through Hendrix, Page, Van Halen. And you can use it on its own, like in those examples I just played, or you can combine it with other licks. Here's a Randy Rhoads example. He has this kind of signature type of thing that he often does. Again, starts off with that lick. Or Stevie Ray Vaughan. He has this type of signature thing that he does. Like in the beginning of Texas Flood. Same thing. Starts off with that little lick. So this lick is played by barring the top two strings with the first finger and leaving it there. You usually start on the third string, you pick and bend it, followed by the note on the second string, and then the first string. Usually played as individual notes like I just did. Sometimes you'll hear the top two strings played together at the same time for more of a Chuck Berry or oldies type sound. Each shape in the app has a few examples from famous songs. Each example shows you where on the neck it's played. Highway to Hell, this lick is in A at the 5th fret. So in the app, use the arrows to move the root to A. The root's the hollow red circle. And you can see that for A, the root on the 6th string is going to be at either the 5th fret or the 17th fret. This lick is at the 5th fret, so move your finger there. All the notes in the shape are placed relative to where the root is. So you can see from the shape, the bar is at the same fret as the root, so bar the top two strings at the 5th fret. And the bent note on the 3rd string is going to be 2 frets higher. So bend that note on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. Good Times, Bad Times is in E. So in the app, use the arrows to move the root to E. It's at the 12th fret. Same thing, everything's relative to where the root is. The bar is going to be at the same fret, so bar the top two strings at the 12th fret. And the note on the 3rd string is going to be 2 frets higher. So bend the 3rd string at the 14th fret. The notes in this lick are found in the basic minor pentatonic scale shape. Click on the Scales tab in the app to compare the two. So you might be thinking this is a minor pentatonic lick and I can only use it wherever I'd be playing a minor pentatonic scale. But if you go back and look at the intervals, the sounds of the lick, you'll see it's basically just the root and the 5th, red and blue. It's like a power chord. It doesn't have a third, so it's neither major or minor. So really, you could use this just about anywhere. Click on any shape in the app and the display changes to color. Color shows relative pitch for each note in the shape, and will show you how far to bend. Look at the bent note. Changes from green to blue as you bend in that direction. Look at the numbers below the shape. Green is the 4th, blue is the 5th. You're bending from the 4th to the 5th. That's the sound you're making relative to the root note. Look at the horizontal line that connects the green dot to the blue dot in the numbers below the shape. That line represents the bend. That line spans a distance of 2 numbers equals 2 half steps equals 2 frets. Translation, this is a whole step bend. You're bending that note on the 3rd string so it matches the pitch of the note 2 frets higher, which in the case of this lick happens to match the pitch of the note on the 2nd string. you've got a bit of a unison bend going on there. Another reason this lick sounds good. These shapes are just the outline. They just show you the notes in the shape. It won't tell you how many times each note is played or what order to play them in. Now, if you're trying to come up with your own riffs or licks based on the shape, that might be an advantage. You've got most of the information you need. But if you're trying to match the examples, you'll need to use your ear to listen and fill in the gaps. In Highway to Hell, for example, listen to the beat, the underlying beat of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. And listen to what Angus is doing, and you can hear he's playing that lick as eighth notes, 2 per beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now in Good Times, Bad Times, Jimmy's using the same basic 3-note rhythm, but he's playing them as 16th notes, 4 per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. So, a bit faster, might be a bit harder to play. Reeling in the Years, you'll hear this lick in the outro solo towards the very end of the song. And it's the same basic pattern, but it has a different feel because the song itself has a different feel compared to these other examples. The song is not in straight time. It's not 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a shuffle. It's swing time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so the lick sounds like this. And after a few bars, starts going even faster. Triplets, 3 to a bar. So in all these examples, it's the same basic lick. The guitarist is just adapting the lick to the beat of the underlying song and using different rhythms. And remember, you can play these notes in any particular combination. You don't have to follow any particular pattern. For example, in Van Halen's version of You Really Got Me, Eddie really mixes up the rhythms. I'll try to replicate it. Played slowly, it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. So to summarize, this is one of those building block shapes. Small but mighty. Fits in a lot of different styles, genres. Easy to use over different chords because it's neither major or minor, like we talked about. And easy to combine with other licks to form larger, more interesting licks, like in the Stevie Ray Vaughan or Randy Rhoads examples I played earlier on. Again, to use it in your own playing, just think about what key you're in and move the root there. Example, you're in the key of C. Root's going to be at the 8th fret. Example, you're in the key of G. Root's going to be at the 3rd fret. Or up here at the 15th fret. Remember that a lot of times there'll be 2 different spots on the neck where you can move the root to. And also, you don't always have to play off the key. Try playing off the chord instead sometimes. Try playing off the underlying chord changes. Instead of moving the root along, moving the root to where the key is, move the root along with the chord changes. Example, you've got a simple chord progression like, say, A, E, D. A, E, D. Next up, I'll show you each of the 3 examples from the start of the video. Slow down, up close, so you can really practice each one and get this lick under your belt. If you don't want to continue on to that lesson segment, please remember to hit like or subscribe before you leave. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Highway to Hell. First lick in the solo. We're in A, so we're here at the 5th fret, first finger barred over the 1st and 2nd strings. And we're going to bend that note on the third string. And I'll play it normal speed at first, then slow speed, then I'll break it down phrase by phrase, although really it's just one basic phrase in this. And finally, we'll talk about a couple of nuances with the rhythm. Okay, normal speed. Slow speed. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and... The basic phrase, we've talked about how this lick usually comes in groups of 3. That's the rhythm. 1, 2, 3. Same thing here. The first note, like it usually is the first, like it usually is in this lick, is the bent third string, bent up a whole step, or as close to it as possible. If you're a tad flat, no one's probably going to notice. This is AC/DC after all. That's the first note. And the second and third notes in this 3-note rhythm are the first and second strings played together. 1, 2, 3. I'm hearing more of the second string in that double stop. I don't know if that's the way he's playing or the way it's EQ'd, or, but for whatever reason, I'm hearing a bit more of the second string than I am the first. You can use all downstrokes. This lick is slow enough that you can do it. So really, that's mostly all there is to it, with the exception of how you come into it. First off, I'll show you how he's not doing it. He's not coming in on the downbeat. He's not coming in on the 1. He's not doing this. 3 and 4 and 1, 2. No, he comes in on the 4 and. He comes in an 8th note early. He also plays that second note on the upbeat. 1 and. Like this. Check it out. 3 and 4 and 1 and. See how both the first and the second notes are a bit ahead of the beat? They're on the upbeat, not the downbeat. And so now, putting it all together, those first 2 notes plus the basic phrase, played slowly. Tap my foot, maybe that always helps me a little bit. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and... That last little lick there, not a part of this lick, but because it happened so soon afterwards. It's good to know about that, too. That's a separate lick that I do have shown in the Building Blocks of Rock. Really common thing, you bend the second and third strings. Okay, let's put it all together, including coming into it from the chords that are there at the break. I guess I'll have to move my neck a little bit so you can see. I don't know if you can see, but it's basically a D chord. That top second and third string. Excuse me, first and second string. Good times, bad times. First lick in the solo. We're in E. The root's up here at the 12th fret. Bar the first finger on the 12th fret over the top 2 strings. That bent third string going to be 2 frets higher, of course, at the 14th fret. It's basically, the lick is basically that same old group of 3 notes rhythmically that we've seen, with the difference that it's played fast. They're 16th notes, so you'll get more mileage if you do that first string with an upstroke. Down, down, up. And it basically repeats that lick 4 times, except for the third time, it's slightly different, just to keep you on your toes. We'll take a look at it. We'll start off normal speed, then slow speed, then phrase by phrase. Normal speed, or as close to it as I can get. 3, 4. Slow speed. 2, 3, 4. Taking it phrase by phrase, you're basically repeating this lick 4 times, like I said, with a slight change in the third time. And the first 2 times is just that lick that we've been played the same way we've been talking about. Repeat. But the third time, it sounds like this, which makes absolutely no sense when you hear it in isolation, but when you hear it strung together with the previous 2, it does make sense. I'll play it real slowly. And then the fourth time is standard. Now, the tricky part is the picking. And basically it works best like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. And the reason those 2 upstrokes, repeated upstrokes, work well is because you're doing 2 upstrokes on the first string, downstroke on the second string, another upstroke on the first string, and then you're in position for a downstroke for that last and fourth set of 3. Played real slowly again. 3 and 4 and. And that last little lick, not really a part of the main lick, of the lick that we're looking at, but it sounds like this. Bend and release. All right, let's try it all the way through, kind of slowly, coming into it from that C sharp chord that's right before the break. 2, 3, 4. Played real slowly. 2, 3, 4. You Really Got Me, Van Halen's version. This is the first lick in the solo. Eddie's guitar tuned down a half step. I'm keeping mine in normal tuning, just so it matches the other 2 examples. I've checked several other YouTube guitar videos. Everyone seems to be hearing something a little different as far as the rhythm for this lick. I'll teach what I'm hearing. At the end, I'll play it slowed down half speed, the original version, so you can compare. I'll start off normal speed, then slow speed, then take it phrase by phrase. Normal speed. Slow speed. 2, 3, 4. Phrase by phrase. It starts off with this bent note on the third string and comes in on the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Followed by 4 16th notes. Down, up, down, up. That's both the first and the second strings. So far it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. Next comes this phrase that sounds like this. It's a bent note and then 3 notes of that double stop, first and second strings. Repeated twice. So, pitting it all together, 2, 3, 4. Finally, it ends with this little bend, which isn't really a part of this lick, but because the notes come so close to this other lick, I'll include it. It sounds like this. It's a bend, upstroke, followed by a bend and release, and then another bend. And so pitting it all together, it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. By the way, Eddie does something really cool with that last bent note. Rhythmically, he kind of extends it out. Hard for me to replicate, but it sounds a little bit like this. You kind of draw out that second bend. This one. Okay, played super slow. One last time. 2, 3, 4. Here's audio of the original version of this recording, slowed down to half speed, with video of me trying to match what I'm hearing. All right, if you've made it this far, hopefully you now have a better command of this lick. Learning the same riff or lick across different songs is one of the best ways to internalize it, really get it into your muscle memory. If you want to go on and learn the whole song, here are some YouTube recommendations I have for those 3 songs we were looking at. Highway to Hell. Lots of YouTube videos showing you how to play this seemingly simple song, but here's a good one from one of my favorite YouTube guitarists, Paul Davids, on what sometimes trips a lot of guitarists up, not just in Highway to Hell, but rhythm guitar in general. It's the groove, the beat, especially the offbeats, those syncopated rhythms like you see in Highway to Hell. Good Times, Bad Times. Again, lots of YouTube videos on this one. But while many do a good job of teaching the riff, there's one thing I've found missing in all the videos I've seen so far. No one is accurately showing what Jimmy Page is really playing in the chorus of this song. Hint, 2 different guitar parts at 2 different places on the neck, at least in the first and last chorus. So I'm calling this MIA, Missing in Action, on YouTube. You really got me. Another one of my favorite YouTube guitarists, Mr. Tabs, does a good cover of Van Halen's version of this song. All right, thanks for watching. Again, please remember to subscribe if you want to keep up with what I'm doing. I'll see you next time.